Hi everyone, Teddy Baldassarre with TeddyBaldassarre.com. In this video, we're looking at a watch from Oris, a new release with the Oris Aquis Upcycle. So in this video and on this channel, we cover watches available for purchase on our website, TeddyBaldassarre.com, as a full authorized dealer. So in this video, we'll do an overview of this timepiece, this new release from Oris. Also, throughout this video, if you have any further questions, check out the link in the description to the product page where you can learn some more information about the watch, purchase the watch, and book a time with one of our dedicated watch specialists as well. But guys, let's jump into the video, take a closer look at this watch. So before getting into the details of this watch and the dial, it's important to just understand the context around this watch and what Oris is going for. So according to the UN Environmental Program, it is estimated that each year as much as 13 million tons of plastic waste makes its way into our oceans. And Oris, as being a brand that has tied itself to ocean conservation, wants to take it another step further this year with a new release and tying together with a new mission, Change for the Better. Oris aims to bring awareness and change to this massive environmental issue. So for 2021, Oris has introduced the Aquis Upcycle, a special edition dive watch with unique dials designed to bring awareness to the ocean plastic pollution crisis, while also utilizing a dial made of PET plastic, offering up a very different look from a design perspective, and one that certainly draws some attention and shows Oris against the grain type of flair. These new watches are coming in both a 41.5mm variant as well as a 36.5mm variant, but today we're going to look at mostly the 41.5mm version. Taking a look at the Aquis Upcycle, we have a familiar 41.5mm Aquis case, 12.7mm thick, and a 48mm lug-to-lug distance. Now, we've looked at several different Aquis models in the past on this channel and discussed this 41.5mm case and really what it is all about. In terms of wearability, all of the Aquis models I find wear smaller than what their case size might indicate in terms of diameter. This one wears closer to that of a 40mm case. Given that this does come with an integrated bracelet, it's going to meet the case at a nice cohesive point and is going to shoot straight down, not adding any extended end to that lug-to-lug distance. With this being a point, I could see this watch working on wrist size as small as 15.5 centimeters in terms of the small end and up. The 41.5mm Aquis variants are going to be the most mass appealing, I find, from a case wearability perspective. The case features alternating surfaces of soft matte brush finishes along the sides with crisp transitions to high polish applied to the outside of the lugs, the bezel, and even the pronounced squared off crown guards. This finishing combination makes its way down through the integrated 3-link style bracelet, with the exterior links featuring high polish, while the center links are going to be finished in a contrasting satin. Tapering down to 16mm, the bracelet is finished off with a milled out folding clasp with a diver's extension, as well as 3 micro adjustment positions for precise sizing. As far as case elements go, at the 3 o'clock we have an oversized screw down crown embossed with the Oris logo and protected on both sides by those large crown guards. The date and the time are adjusted in typical fashion when unscrewing the screw down crown. First position, hand winding the movement. Second position, changing the date. And then at the farthest pulled out point, you then can adjust that time. This Aquis also comes with that solid water resistance rating of 300 meters, giving it bona fide diving capabilities. The bezel is unidirectional, 120 click variety with a thick groove side surface to assist with rotating and setting time dives. Set within the steel bezel is a highly gripped gray ceramic insert with traditional white dive bezel markings, including a luminous pip at the 12 o'clock triangle. In terms of the actual finishing of the Aquis, both from the bracelet perspective, the case, I think it really is kind of that setting the standard type of watch for this $2,000 price range. Finish is great transition between the different finishing techniques of polishing and brushing. The bracelet is executed in a phenomenal fashion. Great articulation of the links, comfortable, breathable, getting also some micro adjustment within the clasp, giving you pretty much everything that you need while not extending the wearability of the case and only aiding it. So seated inside the bezel is a dome sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating applied to the underside. But beneath lies the single most important and distinct feature of this special edition Aquis, which is its unique dial. As an effort on Oris's part to raise awareness of the plastic pollution crisis facing our oceans, the dial is made up of recovered PET plastic, which covers the brass dial plate beneath. Each dial is totally unique with a variety of different colors that bleed together like an abstract watercolor painting. No single color on this dial, at least, dominates the palette, and the end result is a striking visual experience. And unlike anything Oris has done before, and Oris is a brand that typically does things that most brands won't near, so that's really saying something. I think Oris made a very good choice by using a gray ceramic bezel color as to not take away from the dial, as it really is something that's going to stand out on its own. As far as the traditional dial elements, they are familiar for what you're going to see with other Aquis models. We have the applied polish hour markers, which match the tapered sword style hands, which are all outfitted with superluminova. A date window is located at the 6 o'clock position with a white date wheel below. Standard dial text is found with white print for both the logo and the reference text above the date window. On this particular dial, the text in the date window do get a little bit lost with the colors bleeding into each other, which honestly shouldn't be an issue as the dial makeup really is the focus and the signature highlight of the model anyway. Now flipping the watch over, we have a screw down exhibition case back, which reveals the automatic Oris 733 caliber within with the signature red rotor front and center. Now the 733 is essentially just a slightly modified Sellita SW200, and it has been a long mainstay in the Aquis collection for quite some time now. While Oris has rolled out their caliber 400 into 2021 Aquis models, the Upcycle is fitted with a reliable, trusty Sellita SW200 base inside, which helps keep the cost down, placing it in a familiar $2,000 to $2,500 price range, despite a very different approach in terms of the dial. So with this movement, we are getting familiar specs, a power reserve of 38 hours on a fully wound mainspring while operating at 4 Hz, 28,800 vibrations per hour. Here we have the traditional regulating pin, as well as just the movement architecture that one will find with these Sellita movements. So servicing and fine-tuning regulation is pretty straightforward. It also does feature hacking and hand winding functionality. And as far as finishing is concerned, basic matte finishing across the visible movement surfaces with the exception of that custom signature red rotor. Now to unpack looking at the Oris Aquis Upcycle. Earlier this year, we did see the cotton candy models from Oris, which were some polarizing models for the sake of the dial and what they were going for, but those that love them truly love them. Now with this one, I think there's probably going to be a similar reaction to this particular piece. At first glance, without any context, it's probably easy to dismiss this as too much, but after some time with it and with the story and mission behind it, this is a watch that really just grew on me quite a bit, and I actually think it looks fantastic. The fact that all of these dials are made to be unique, you have a bit of this like watercolor display of the different melding of colors together, but somehow it really works, and when balanced with the gray ceramic bezel along the outside, it really does allow this dial to pop quite a bit more. Now, with all that said, there's certainly still going to be detractors to this, despite the mission, despite what this dial is going for, but I think Oris understands that when releasing these style of pieces. But in a landscape where all the brands are basically saying, let's just release a new green dial with nothing essentially new, it's very refreshing to see something that is a completely different take while not having to pay insane premium in the price range. Because at the end of the day, this is an Aquis and delivers on all the great value that the Aquis has within its collection. The same great integrated bracelet, case finish is here. I think Oris did a very good job with this piece. There are going to be people that, in terms of the dial, it's going to find this thing polarizing, but that's to be expected. There's a nice mission behind it, what it's going for, and a nice way of integrating it into a design that I think is so different compared to what we're seeing as of late. All right, guys, well, thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Really would appreciate that, and that does help out the channel as well. And if you are in the market for this watch, it is available on TeddyBaldassarre.com. We are a full authorized dealer of all the brands that we carry, quick and fast fulfillment, dedicated customer support. Also, all of our products come with a full factory warranty, so if something goes wrong, you're covered. In addition to that, we also offer price match, so if you see one of our watches for cheaper at another authorized dealer, fill out the form, we'll get in contact with you. And then finally, 9 out of every $10 that we generate from our store goes right back into the content that we're creating, trying to foster up a new generation of watch enthusiasts in the process. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.